YouTube, we are back for another exciting upload in relation to Jeremy's Detective Comics number 33. So what do we have here? And you may be asking yourself, what's the deal, Jerry the Jitterbug, based on the thumbnail? Did you make a mistake or mess up again with the leaf casting? The answer is yes. And we have a wrap right here, and this is a wrap that I leaf casted originally, and the color match for the pulp I was not happy with. Then I re-leaf casted it. The problem is that I mistakenly leaf casted it on this side of the page. I don't want that because this is the back side of the wrap. And when I leaf cast the pages, I want to use the front section or the front side, so when you're flipping through the book you have a consistent leaf casting on the first page that you see when you are turning the pages. Okay, so we have to do this side again. I removed the leaf casting previously that I did off camera, or actually I removed the leaf casting that I did on camera off camera. That makes sense, Jerry. It's early in the morning when I'm filming this right now. As you can see, there is a lot of bug chew right here, and we're going to have to leaf cast the bottom as well because several wraps in this book have a miscut, and I want to match up the miscuts so we don't have all the pages different sizes. It just won't look, in my opinion, the best way you can make this book look. Okay, so I want to do another leaf casting interior page upload, and I know I do a lot. I know I have many. I know I have 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 50, 60. There's a lot, but this is what I do in the channel, okay? And I want to do a shout out to a channel. It's a Drifts channel, or Drifts Experiments in Conservation. I don't know if that is the title, but this is the channel, okay? It's a very good channel. Go check it out. Hit that sub button for Drift, and I've been communicating with him on Peter Alice's channel regarding different things for leaf casting. And what I want to show and what's important about this upload is that when we leaf cast, or at least when Jerry the Jitterbug leaf casts, I have various steps that I developed by doing leaf casting. What does that mean? It means that I've been doing this now for quite some time, leaf casting on YouTube. And I have to be honest, every time I leaf cast, I learn something new. I learn something new. I learn something new. And I fine tune the way I do it, at least, to get the best product I feel I can achieve. So what I want to do now is I want to wet the wrap. And when I say wet, we're going to give it a nice soaking. So right now I have my Tupperware tub. Everyone has seen me use this before, and we're going to put the wrap in the tub. Matter of fact, let me get a grate. I'm sorry, I'm leaving the Jerry the Jitterbug lair right now because the grate is outside of my boiler room. Let's get a grate. We're going to put a grate down just like this, just so we can move the wrap a little bit easier in and out. And I'm going to put a grate down just like this. Easy peasy. And I am going to put some plain H2O into the tub, just like this. And we just want to let the wrap soak, not long, just for about 10 minutes or so, 5 minutes, about 5 minutes. And my test in soaking it is I like to see the newsprint of the wrap turn all consistent color, meaning consistent wet color. Okay, and an example is like right here, you see it's lighter and let the water penetrate. Just like that. So we're gonna let this soak. And the reason why we're gonna let this soak, and there may be a tiny drop of residue of soap in here, which I'm gonna rinse out the wrap very lightly before we leaf cast it. But we just want this to get nice and hydrated, consistent with the color of wet throughout. And once this gets nice and wet, we are going to press it. And in the past, what I used to do with my books is I used to wet the page on my leaf casting table. And this is what I was trying to explain to Adrift via some commentary on on Peter's page. And I used to put the page down on the leaf casting table dry. Then I used to use my spray pump and I used to wet the page. The problem with doing that I experienced was once you wet a dry page on the leaf casting table, or if you're using a mat, the page will wrinkle, it will buckle, it will shift when it becomes wet from dry. So what I learned and what I now do is I wet the page, and then after I wet the page, I press it in Big Bertha or my copy press. And I still put paper towels down. I still do the drying method, but I don't let the page dry fully. And that is the page that I leaf cast after it's pressed wet. By doing that, it's going to flatten out the page. It's going to put all little pieces where there should be. If the cover is in tatters, you have it pressed and it gets nice and flat in order to put the pulp on. So I'm gonna take this out right now. And again, that was the time, guys. I don't have a clock going 5 minutes, 4 minutes. That's enough because everything is saturated. And then I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with the pressing, and then we're gonna leaf cast. So let me take this out, give it a little rinsing, and we'll get going with the sandwich for the pressing. Pre-press before leaf casting. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. I gently rinse the wrap to remove any soap, light soap that may be on there, and here it is right here. Okay, so what we have here is a piece of Hollytex. I want to adjust it just a little bit. Well, actually, this Hollytex is good. I don't like the way the back Hollytex is resting. See how it's a little cockeyed? So what I'll do is I'll take it off. I like to do the rolling method because then I can position it exactly where I want to. Just like that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it nicely, not meanly, just like this. And then we're going to roll it back into position. Okay. Now when we press it, I want to make sure that the Hollytex is nice and smooth. So I go from the spine outwards just like this. And I make sure that it's nice and flat because when, or to take out the ripples or the bubbles, just like this, very gently with a nice plastic putty knife. Now we're going to flip it around just like this. And we're going to do the same because pressing is very important with this aspect of the leaf casting of the wrap because we want, like I said, we want to make sure everything is flat and everything is copacetic. Now, we're going to press it in Big Bertha. So what I have is I'm going to put one sheet of paper towels. We're not gonna go crazy. Just like this. One sheet. And then we're gonna take my plastic film that we use, just like this. And I don't have the plastic film on the reverse side, which is fine, but we'll just take the shelf like this, and we're gonna flip over the shelving units like this. Now I'm gonna be up front. I may take this top shelving unit off, and I think there's a chance I may mess it up because the Hollytex is gonna be sticking like I indicated. I should have had the plastic down. Okay. So it was sticking. So right now, this is just another mess up with conservation. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start over. And listen, guys, is this really a mess up? Is this the bad situation that we're dealing with sometimes, that I made a little error not having the plastic down? Yeah, it happens. And this is why things take some time. And I knew it was going to happen even before it happened. So that is one of the features of filming, I guess live it would be. Well, actually it's not live, but just filming in general with these uploads. You see things happening as they happen. Okay, so see how nice I'm taking out all of the creases and the bubbles. So that's good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put one paper towel. Now, generally speaking, when I dry my washed pages or leaf casting, I do it overnight. I change the paper towels often. But in relation to this job, the goal is I don't really want to change the paper towels that much. I'm not even going to change them. I'm going to keep the paper towels a little wet, or wet itself when it absorbs the moisture out of the page, because I want this to be wet when I leaf cast it. Okay, but we are just pressing this now, and we are going to press it in the bookbinding press maybe for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. It depends on what I am doing, but we don't want to press it overnight or for a long period of time, because we want it where when we take it out of the press, it's still wet, and I can just take the Hollytex sandwich, put it on the leaf casting table, and then there we go. We are in the method of leaf casting. So we're going to take this over to Big Bertha, and I am going to press it, and then we are going to get rolling. And then when you see me next, I will have the leaf casting table set up, and we are going to leaf cast. And in fact, here is the pulp, and I made a different pulp because I was unhappy with the second batch that I made. Because you know what? I have competition now. The comic book community, they're really amping up color match, something that in the past, when I was stressing it, color match is very important. Everyone, well, it's not that important, doesn't matter. It could be purple, it's just as long as it's leaf casted. No. Now I'm setting the bar high where color match should be a top priority. And I am basing that off of me following Kenny Sanderson, when he does leaf casting. That is my benchmark. Okay, we'll be right back and we'll start leaf casting. Okay, guys, we're back to get rolling with this wrap. So what I want to do now is I want to fill up my squeeze bottle, as we do almost every time, with the pulp. Let me just give it a little stir. That's enough because I had it stirring before off camera. And we're going to pour it in. We're going to get it rolling right here. Let's fill up the bottle because we can always put the portion of the pulp that isn't used back into the blender. Now what I want to do is I want to get the wrap. The wrap that we wet. It's been in the press for a few hours, not a long time. It's only been in there for a few hours just to flatten it out, to get it where we are able to leaf cast it. And one of the main goals in putting it in the press, as I indicated, was to make sure that the wrap is nice and smooth. Okay, that is the key thing in doing what I do with making it where it is pressed. So I'm off the camera right here. I just have to move my press for a second. Let me shut the camera off. Okay guys, so just to explain what happened, I keep my bookbinding press on a file cabinet, an old file cabinet, and the old file cabinet is on a dolly so I can move it. So I hit the dolly by accident and it put everything off kilter. So what we're doing now is we're putting on my craft foam barriers, and really all we're doing is we are leaf casting the spine, and I am going to leaf cast the bottom. So right here it looks like there is a piece that is overlapped, and I want to fix that. Just like that. Okay, boom, done. So we have everything set up, and it's still wet. It's still wet, and it's flat, and that's the purpose of doing the pressing of the page, so we can get it nice and flat. And then when I put the suction on, I may give it a little sprinkling with water, but it's still wet, and the suction is going to bring it down. So hold your ears. Now, just an example. So I see how I wet it, and the wrap is staying flat. If I did that when the wrap is dry, the wrap will tend to buckle and it will shift around, but not with this process, not with first pressing it. Okay, let's get going. Okay, guys, that's it for the spine. So we're going to do the bottom now. So what I want to do is I want to put the suction back on, and then we're going to move our films to do it nicely. there's a lot of fine tuning when I do this. And as you can see, which I always do, I use the brush to manipulate the pulp. And for me, I view it as painting the pulp onto the graphics where we're actually to the perimeter of the page, and you can manipulate the pulp if you get a hang of it in order to make it where you are not getting it on the graphics. And people ask me, how do you know how much pulp? See, right now I shouldn't be doing this with one hand, but you know what? Sometimes I'm radical. And if this is what is radical for you, Jerry the Jitterbug, then that's pretty embarrassing. Actually, I am pretty radical with doing a lot of things. But what I'm doing now is I want to take these off because I want to put the Hollytex on. And I have it rolled. We're going to do the joke, rolled, ha, ha, he, he. But we want to put this on nice, just like this. And then by rolling it, it's on. So I don't have to deal with problems with it bubbling or shifting incorrectly and having a situation where we have the Hollytex not on flat. So what I want to do is I want to put my suction back on, and then the goal right now is to essentially resize and paint the top piece of the Hollytex with methyl cellulose, a watered down methyl cellulose solution. So right here we have water. Here we have methyl cellulose. There you go. That's all I'm doing. Nothing crazy, not a lot. That's it. And I'm going to stir it up on the side here. I'm mixing it up. And I'm just going to put a little bit more methyl cellulose off camera. Bloop, 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 bloop. See the sound effects? And then we're going to brush it. I'm going to gently brush the methyl cellulose with water onto the wrap when the suction is on, because then what will happen is the methyl cellulose will give it some additional strength, but it will bind everything together as well with the adhesive nature of the methyl cellulose. So let's put it on. guys, so that's it. And I never showed this off camera, but what I like to do is just put a little top on like this, the top of the Hefty, and I like to run the vacuum so it gets more suction. And then I'll let the suction run for a good 5 minutes or so, okay? And then that's it. That's all that we're going to do for this upload. And then the next upload will start right up with me taking it off and doing the blotting. Okay, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you enjoy my content, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Okay, so thank you. Appreciate your support and stay tuned.